Howard with Ashley Howard Teaches. I am so excited to talk to you today about 4th grade homeschool curriculum. This is a mid-year review, so I'll talk about what has worked and what has definitely not worked for my 4th grader. All right, so to give you a little background, I now have a 6th grader, that's my oldest, and we've homeschooled all the way since preschool. So I've been doing this for a little while and I have enjoyed it thoroughly. So let's get started. But first, would you hit that subscribe button? I just love hearing from other homeschoolers what has worked, what has not worked, and to share with you homeschool curriculum, homeschool planning, homeschool scheduling, and talk about the different things that help us as homeschool moms. All right, so don't forget that, and don't forget to stick around to the very end. I will be talking about some freebies that I have for you that you can download for absolutely free. All right, and as always, all of the things that I talk about are down below listed in the description so that you can find them easily without rewinding or fast forwarding. All right, so let's get started. First, I wanted to talk to you about my favorite thing for science for 4th grade. All right, so this year for 4th grade, we have chosen Apologia. Now, a lot of people use Apologia, so don't tune out quite yet because I want to talk to you about that. Some of the earlier books, I would say like zoology, some of those different books, there wasn't as many experiments and there was a lot of words. And while I love them, my kids kind of got lost after a page or two. So much information. It was hard to combine the different ages because some of it was so wordy and so advanced, and it became hard to combine my science. And I really like to combine subjects with my kids so they were all together. All right, so but this one really struck gold for me. This is the Apologia book about chemistry and physics. We have loved it. There are so many experiments, you guys. It is awesome. Hit that like button if you just love experiments because I love using hands-on things. So they have the main book and then they have the journaling book. And I would highly suggest getting both because both have been very valuable for us. So I want to start with a quick flip through of the textbook and then we'll move on to the student workbook. So here's the flip through of the Apologia book. So what I love about this book is that it talks about advanced topics, but it talks about it in easy to understand ways. Now you will see all of these, try this. Now this is the meat and potatoes of this book. I love it because these are all the experiments. So look as I flip through about all the experiments they have. We're talking about periodic table. We're talking about electron energy. We're talking about valence electrons, and protons and neutrons. So as you can see, as we go throughout this book, there are so many experiments, so many wonderful ideas, and it does not read like a textbook, but it references always back to the Lord. It talks about creation, how God made all things, and it ties it all back to Him. So what I love about the student notebook is there's so many different Bible verses that they can copy. They can talk about what they discussed during the book, so they get to write down their ideas, they get to write down pictures. So it just helps to generalize that knowledge so that they're not only learning it and hearing it, but they're also writing it. I love doing that. So here's a little crossword, here's some more Bible verses. There's different flat books in the back of here that you can put together. There is so much richness to this book, and so we just love that. So I highly suggest getting both of these. So now I want to talk about something that didn't work as well for our family this year, and that was Gather Round. Gather Round talks about all the different subjects. So they talk about history, science, math, and they kind of combine it all into one easy curriculum. Now, I still love Gather Round. We tried the transportation unit, probably not our favorite, just because, and it was such good information, so I don't want to say too many negative things, and it's great if you have extra time. I just didn't really feel like I could use it as my core anymore because I just didn't have enough information. It didn't have enough broadness. So while I like Gather Round and I enjoy it, and the botany unit and some of the other units are wonderful, transportation didn't hit a home run for us. Even though I have boys, and even though it was interesting and valuable information, I just felt like with all the things we needed to cover, this one I didn't need as much, and so it was just kind of taking more time out of our day than we needed to for schooling, and so this one I had to kind of cut back and out of our schedule, unfortunately, because there's so many Gather Round units that we have absolutely loved. So let me know, have you used Gather Round, and do you have a favorite one? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. All right, so that's what didn't really work for us. Now, let's move on to math. So for math this year, we have used teaching textbooks. And that has been a home run, a game changer. We love it because not only are they having fun learning and they're getting stickers and it's online and it's just fun, but they're learning so much valuable information, and they will go through and explain why the problem is wrong or explain how to do the problem to your student online. So it's fun, it's sweet, it's exciting, they learn a lot. So let me tell you, if you've had problems and you've had tears in math, go check out Teaching Textbook. It will save you a lot of time and pain, and it's very affordable, and it's not like old school graphics where it's not fun or exciting for the kids. They really do like it. All right, so that is our math. Let me tell you what else has worked for our math this year. So this year I noticed that we needed to get faster on our math facts. So I decided to purchase some multiplication cards, and traditionally I don't like flashcards. They're boring, right? But let me tell you what we did. We set a timer for 60 seconds and we went through and to see how many we could get as fast as we could. So that made it more fun. It helped us. We started with our 2s, then we went with our 3s, then we went with our 4s, and our mission was to make our math times or multiplication faster so that we could have them right like this right away every single time. So that has been really good for us because I feel like with math curriculum, with homeschooling, sometimes we miss that fast facts. And our kids can get so frustrated in math because they can't move forward as fast because they're still trying to learn their math facts. So if we get their math facts solid, they can go so much faster in math, and it makes it far less frustrating. Here's something else we use. And again, I will link these all down below so that you can have easy access to them. All right, so another thing that has helped us is these math fast facts. You do 100-time tests. And on each test, there's a slot where you can put in how long it took you to do it and how many you got correct in that amount of time. And you know what? My kids love the competition of this. I have my 2nd grader doing the addition subtraction and my 4th grader doing the multiplication. And I think they enjoy seeing themselves get faster and faster and seeing themselves improve. And this is a way that they can see that as their times get faster. Now, it's not really exciting, but there is a lot of problems, and I found it to be quite challenging. You really have to know your facts. So it's a great challenge for them. So this is a book that I will link in the description below as well. All right, so let's move on to history. So for history this year, we have used America's Story 3. This is by Master Books. You can find this description link below. We love this textbook though. It is so good because it doesn't read like a dry textbook. It reads more like a living book, like an adventure. And I love this. I have never loved history, but reading this book, I really do like it. In school, it was always my least favorite subject, but now I have found a true love for it because they've made it enjoyable because of this book, and I hope my kids will love it too. So they never complain about history. They always have fun, and so you go through and it looks like it has a lot of words. They take you through it like a story. All right, so real quick, you can see these pages, and they have little reading breaks where you kind of narrate back. I find this quite valuable. I have my kids narrate back all the time just to make sure they're listening and getting the important facts. There's also some great pictures in here, as you can see. There's just this book is just wonderful. I hope you love it as much as I do. There's Story 1, 2, and 3. Doesn't really matter where you start, it's just different points in the history. So you can start on any of these books, but they're all about the same level, and they're all very detailed, great books. We're talking high quality, so we love this program. And so I hope you enjoy it too. Also, I wanted to tell you, I love reading books for history as well. I'm gonna leave a link of just a bunch of Amazon books that you can find on Amazon that are about history that make history more fun. We have so many different books, so I want to show you those, but just check those out in the description so that you can find some great books for your homeschool as well. So let's move on to grammar. That one's kind of a difficult one. It took me a while to find this program, but once I did, I was so excited. So it's IEW, it's Fix It. Now we started with 1 because they said if you'd never done it before, you should probably start at 1. It's great. Starts off slow, but man, does it get advanced fast. So what I love about this is they're learning their grammar, and I always felt like that was something I was kind of sliding on. So finding this book was so wonderful to me, and I know IEW is known for their excellence. So I know anything they write is just wonderful. So I had no problem introducing this to our curriculum. I will probably have my 2nd grader do this as well because it's meant, I think, for 3rd and up. but my second grader could completely do this as well. So there's also a student book, and that's where they primarily do most of their work. Now, I found this Fix-It Grammar to be, this teacher manual to be helpful, just so I make sure I'm identifying the right things as well. Most of it's self-explanatory, but it's just good to have for a reference in case you have any questions. So here is the Fix-It Grammar student book. So this one is great. Oh my goodness, you have to have this book for the program. So as you can see right here, you're talking about marking articles, adjectives, pronouns, nouns, subjects, prepositional pronouns. They're learning end marks, beginning marks, making good sentences. So as you can see, when we first start off, it's not nearly as advanced. We're just doing the very basics. And so I was a little worried at first. I thought, oh my goodness, we're just doing nouns and doing uppercase letters and punctuation marks. But as I went through it, I saw how fast they started going forward, and it was great review. So I love this book for grammar, and I will tell you, I'm a big IEW fan. So one of the things that I really wanted to do with my kids is to teach them to write very well, because I know how important that is. Just for everyday activities, for jobs, for interviews, so many different things. It's so good. All right, so what I love is IEW. This has been a home run winner. So this is the US-based history writing lessons. There's a couple of these, and they're so wonderful. All of them are. So for this book, what you're going to do is they're going to give you an excerpt which talks about history. So it's like a paragraph or two long, and then you'll go through with your student, and they'll write a key word outline. So they're gonna write 3 to 4 words, I believe, and you can make some like symbols and stuff like that on there, and they're going to write what they learned from this, and they're going to kind of summarize it with those couple of words. Then they're going to go and they're going to write their very own paragraph. Now, it's going to have some of the same core things as they did when they read their history excerpt, but they're going to make their own writing out of it. Now, there's so many different facets to this writing program, and I don't even know if I'm explaining it well. I'm sorry if I'm not, but let me tell you, this has been wonderful. It's wonderful for so many reasons, and they help you learn how to dress up your sentences using ly adverbs, using adjectives. So I highly recommend this book. It is so good. So check them out. I will leave the link in the description below. But for writing, you cannot go wrong with IEW. All right, so let's move on to Spanish. So here's my Spanish. We've used Song School Spanish. Now this is book 2. We've already done some basic Spanish, so you can start with level 1, and that's where I would highly suggest you start if you have not learned Spanish yet. But I love this book. They have a Latin one too, which is great if you're wanting to learn Latin as well. But we have done Spanish, and it is so good for learning the days of the week. And as they grow in their Spanish knowledge, they're able to start putting sentences together and understanding it, reading it. And they have what my favorite part of the program is. They include in this book a CD that comes in the very back of this book, absolutely free. You can see mine is missing because it's in my player. But they have a CD, and on the CD there's wonderful songs. So on each lesson they tell you what track to listen to, and you learn a song. And my kids sing the ones from the book 1 still, and they did that last year because the songs are so catchy and they learn Spanish so well. So this is a great book. It also comes with a teacher's book. You can buy the teacher's book separately. I don't need that because I know Spanish pretty well, but if you don't know Spanish as well, that would be very helpful. They also have a fun flashcard game that you can purchase as well. So those are great things to do for Spanish. So we absolutely have adored this program. They have learned so much on Spanish. So I'll show you a few quick pages right now. So they're learning about rooms, about so many different things. So this is a great book for learning foreign language. They also have a higher level book that jumps way up into Spanish and conjugating verbs and different things like that. But for right now, we are using Song School Spanish 2. And if you're looking for different Spanish curriculum, for different history curriculum in depth, I do a detailed review. If you look on my YouTube channel, you can find all sorts of different videos. All right, so let's move on to cursive and handwriting. So for handwriting this year, we're introducing cursive. So I like to do this book. It's book T. It's a transition book, but my child still could use a little bit of help with handwriting. So we're starting with just the handwriting, the printing first. And what I love about these books is they're Bible verses. So they go through, they learn, each day is labeled. It's not very long, and they can do it independently. So while you're cleaning, you give them this. They work on their handwriting, and it really does help. It's not just busywig. But they're also learning Bible verses and getting the scripture into their heart, which is beautiful to me as well. And at the back of the book, there's different pages where they can write these scriptures on pages. And let me just encourage you, put those up in your house, on your window, different places where they can kind of look and they do their schoolwork, hang them up, and it's such a great way to remind them of scripture. And they've written these verses and put them in their heart, so it's beautiful. And as you move through the book, you get to the cursive section where they're learning cursive and learning scripture and writing scripture in cursive. So this is a very valuable book. I've done a lot of handwriting books, and I will say a reason for handwriting is my absolute top favorite for so many reasons. So I love this book. I'll leave it in the link below. So that is our handwriting curriculum. Let me move on to Bible and what has worked and what hasn't worked. Okay, so for Bible, we use the 365 day-by-day Kids Bible. So I love this Bible. It's so worn. We bought this used a long time ago, and it's kind of falling apart, but it's going to make it. We are almost all the way through it. We love reading this Bible every single morning. It's written in kid language, but it is the Bible, and you're going through the entire Bible in a year. Now, it's taken us a little longer because there's some days where we miss, or we just use something else. So we're about 2 years in, and we are almost done, but it is incredible and amazing. And it is so detailed, so I love that. I love that they're learning scripture, and they're learning about the Bible, and it's not just basic stories, but they're really diving deep into scripture. So this is a great book. I use this for all my kids. We all sit together and do morning Bible time. So this is a great one to include for your whole family. We also love the Luke Giglio Science Devotional books where they combine science and learning scripture and learning about God. I don't have it right here with me, but I will tell you there's 3 different books, and they're so good, and I will leave those in the link below also. All right, so we also do the Add-Ons program at our church. If you have one of those at your church, I highly suggest it. They learn all sorts of verses. My oldest daughter went all the way through to 6th grade, and she's loved it, did so well with that, committed so much scripture to memory. So I highly recommend that as well. All right, so I wanted to leave you with spelling because that was a big one for us. And then I want to talk to you about those freebies. All right, so for spelling, let me tell you what we have loved. And also for reading. We use both this company to teach spelling and reading. So for spelling, we use All About Spelling. Now this is level 6. I couldn't find my level 4 book, but I love All About Spelling because it is so hands-on and multi-sensory. So you get these tiles, you cut them out, they come in a big sheet, and you can put magnets on the back of them, and then you can do your spelling words, putting them on the pan, and they can do it like that, or they can just do it on the table. So those are 2 different ways. This is level 6. They have 1 through 6. I believe they might have higher, I'm not sure. But for spelling, what they do is they learn the spelling rules, and then after they've memorized the rule, they get to spell different words using these tiles. And then they can they can write them on the paper or however you would like it. But as they talk about each rule, so they'll start off with a rule, and you'll copy that and learn about that, and then you'll get to go through and create different words. And at the end, there's spelling words right here, and then as they get older, they get to dictate sentences and they get to write sentences. So that's something you get to look forward to. So it starts out very simple for All About Spelling and level 1, and then it's just going up. So I suggest you do their spelling assessment online so you can figure out which level. Don't ever worry about being on the right level or for the right grade. It's more about levels with this program to make sure they're getting the foundational knowledge about spelling. All right, they have a great reading program too. If your child is not already a fluent reader, All About Reading is so good. Same company as All About Spelling. They are excellent. We have used to teach all of our kids to read. It's been wonderful. So I highly recommend that. I wanted to leave you real quick with your freebie. So I have a Spanish freebie linked down below. I also have free multiplication cards from 1 to 15 available. We do classical conversations, so we practice skip counting a lot at our house. And so these cards have been so helpful, and these are a freebie, absolutely free for you to practice skip counting. So here are the cards. So all you do is you get this out, print it out, and you can use a laminator. If you don't have a great laminator that you love, I'll have one linked below, but you just cut them out and laminate them and punch a hole and put them on these rings, and they can practice skip countings their different numbers. So I hope that helps you in some way. So that's one of our freebies. I also have a free Spanish freebie for you as well. All right, so that is all for today. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope this has helped you to pick out some good curriculums, things that you've liked for 4th grade. I also want to have a shout out to the Tuttle Twins. This is a great book. It's called Inspiring Entrepreneurs. It's a little high level for 4th grade, but I do have a 6th grader, almost 7th grader. So I include my 4th grader with this and my 2nd grader really. And we read about different inspiring entrepreneurs and what they have done in their business to make it successful. Because I just think this is a very valuable tool for them to learn, not just math, science, history, reading, but also to be inspired to do great things with excellence and use all of your skills to glorify God. So I hope you've enjoyed this today. All right, so don't forget to hit that subscribe and that like button so that you don't miss a thing on homeschool planning, on homeschooling review, on homeschooling scheduling. Leave me a comment below. Let me know, what is your biggest struggle in homeschooling so far? I want to help you adjust these so that you can be the best homeschooler that God has created you to be. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you next time. Goodbye.